today to talk to Chris Grimes, who is the founder of SALSA. We're celebrating 15 years supporting UK food and drink producers. And today we're just going to talk about some reflections of the scheme, how it came about, what it's achieved, and looking forward to the future. So hello Chris.
Hello.
Thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
So congratulations on 15 years. Looking back, what was the reason why SALSA was set up?
Well, originally SALSA was conceived to fill what was felt to be a huge gap in the market, so to speak, for food safety and food safety standards for small businesses, very much as it is today. The background in those days was that there were far more larger and medium-sized companies producing food in the UK and all over Europe and all over the world. But there was this trend for smaller, more artisan, more local types of businesses coming through in the early 2000s. And these companies didn't really have an opportunity for food safety certification because the only standards that were available were really aimed at much larger types of businesses with much more resource and financial backing. So SALSA was there to fill that gap.
Yeah. And who, along with yourself, who else was involved in the conception of SALSA?
Right from the off, when we came up with the idea to fill the need, we took a decision that this should be a scheme that was created by the industry for the industry. In other words, with this not-for-profit concept, so that all the people that were involved in it were doing it because they believed that there was this need to actually improve or give companies the ability to actually meet standards and improve their standards. So that was how it was actually founded.
Okay, and who was involved in that initial?
So the initial partners were the BRC, British Retail Consortium, were one of our founding partners.
Yeah.
The Food and Drink Federation, the British Hospitality Association, as it was now UK Hospitality,
Yeah.
and the National Farmers Union. So effectively, we had trade association partners who represented the whole food chain. So yeah. NFU were representing farmers. Farmers were diversifying. They were producing food on their own farms, manufacturing food on their own farms. And then we had the Food and Drink Federation, who represent the manufacturing industry. Mm-hmm. We have the British Retail Consortium representing the retail sector, and the UK Hospitality representing food service and catering and hotels, etc. So between us, we had the whole of the sort of food chain covered with our partnerships.
Yeah. And so fast forwarding 15 years. How do you feel the scheme has achieved its aims and exceeded them?
Well, it's a good point because I think when we first began, looking back, we didn't really know how far the scheme would go. We just knew that there was a need to fill this gap. We didn't really understand at that stage how big the gap was. But where we are today is far in excess of where we ever imagined the scheme would actually go in terms of membership. And I think that's partly down to the success of the concept, the formula, the way that we've actually pitched the scheme and developed the scheme, but also to do with the growth of smaller food businesses in the UK. It's been absolutely fantastic, the number of new businesses that have emerged over the last decade or so.
Looking ahead 15 years, what do you see for SALSA?
Well, I mean, having established our original objective, which was to become the scheme of choice for small businesses to use for food safety certification, and to have a wide acceptance amongst the buyers and the users, the retailers, etc. Having effectively reached that point, what we're now looking at is how we actually make sure that we stay relevant, that we keep doing the things that we do well even better, that we are able to actually continually improve or help businesses continually improve their standards. At the moment, we have about 80 auditors and mentors out in the field who provide a tremendous service of support and help to all the members. But there are many more things that we think that we can actually do to provide support. So training is one area that we've developed quite well over the last few years. But there are other support services that we think are going to be relevant and helpful to our members in the future.
So exciting times.
Exciting times ahead. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chris. And just to wrap up, is there anyone that you would like to thank that's been a part of the SALSA journey? 15
years being such a landmark, I think it is important to recognise and reflect on our humble beginnings and thank the partners that were with us at the beginning of the journey, many of whom have stayed with us all the way through. But organisations such as the Food Standards Agency, who gave us a lot of support in the early days and really saw the need for the scheme and how useful it would be for improving food safety standards amongst small businesses. And there was DEFRA, who actually put some money in. They actually put some investment into the scheme to get it off the ground. The Scottish Enterprise and Scotland Food and Drink at the time were a great help in actually getting the scheme off the ground with a pilot scheme in the Highlands and Islands area. So a huge thank you to those early days partners, if you like. But our current partners and our owners of the scheme, the National Farmers Union, NFU, have been fantastic supporters over the years, as have the IFST, Institute of Food Science and Technology, UK Hospitality and Food and Drink Federation. All of those partners have stayed with the scheme, committed to the scheme, understand its benefits and what its potential actually is.
Okay.
So, of course, nothing that we do could be possible without the actual people that we have, the amazing people that we actually have working out all across the UK. We have 80 auditors and mentors working out there, and these are the people that actually are face to face with our members, with the suppliers, doing the auditing, which is the verifying the compliance to the standard, but also mentoring and helping and supporting and giving those companies the advice, the ideas, the confidence, if you like, to actually take the next steps towards SALSA compliance and SALSA certification. So without those people, it wouldn't be possible, and they are truly fantastic. They are the lifeblood of the scheme, and so a huge thank you to all our auditors and mentors.